Chapter 35, Annie. I crash into the office, snatching the tail of my scarf behind me before it gets trapped in the lift. I've run from a client meeting where I showed them a couple of private schools and raced back here so I could check my emails and say hello to Pam before the fabric shop closed. I spent the rest of Sunday crying with Tanya and Penny. We sat and chatted, drank all the wine, and then all the tea, ate all the chocolate, and devoured Penny's huge, delicious stew. But then I got up on Monday morning and decided that I wasn't going to let Nate ruin another day. He'd already spent the majority of the week before circling around my head, while I was desperately wondering why he'd sent me such a weird message. Then he crashed a weekend with my parents and ruined an entire Sunday. So no more. He was not allowed to come with me into this week. Hello, I call, walking through the office. To my surprise, Pam isn't hunched over her laptop like she normally is. I drop my bag, frowning. That's odd. Normally I barely see her move from that space. Pam, I call. She's in the kitchen and jumps when she sees me. Are you making a cup of tea? I say. You never get up to make a cup of tea? I haven't been gone that long, have I? I grin, pulling a mug down and placing it next to hers, but she doesn't return my smile, just looks at me with a weird, glazed expression. Are you all right? I ask. Have you been staring at your laptop for too long? Shall I take you outside for some fresh air? I'm teasing her, but the weird, glazed expression doesn't shift. Annie, she says eventually. How are you? Team fine, I reply at once. Are you? She nods. I'm good. Rodney and I spent the weekend going through things. The business, and the idea of traveling. I smile, leaning on the counter, ready for her to start her weekly rant about how Rodney wants to travel the world, and she can't leave the business. But she doesn't. I think we're going to do it, she says, giving me a small smile. We're not getting any younger, and I do work too much. And I love Rodney. I want to do this with him. Joy spreads through my chest and I throw my arms around Pam's neck. Pam, I cry. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Although, I add, letting her go, I don't know how Iona survived without you for a year. She laughs. I think you'll be great. I smile, flicking on the coffee machine, and actually Annie./ she continues. That's something I want to talk to you about. I turn back to face her. Yeah, well, the plan is for us to be gone for a year, but I'm going to need someone to take my place while I'm away. And I want to make sure that the right person is here to run it. I look at her, my stomach flipping. Is she about to? I'd like you to be the acting CEO. I run my fingers along the waterfall of fabric. Satins of pearly pink, deep purple, glistening, royal gold. I want to scoop them all up under my arm and take them. Make a dress out of all of them. Make 100 dresses and skirts and jackets. I always find myself here when I'm stressed. When I moved to London 10 years ago, I flitted between fabric shops like a student on a pub crawl, but I ended up gravitating towards this one. When I was a teenager and had just started to make my own clothes, I'd wander into town after school and spend 20 minutes or so admiring each piece in the local fabric shop, pulling it between my fingers or seeing how it would fall if I wrapped it around my arm. Sometimes Mum would call me and then meet me there. We'd pick a fabric out together and take it home to add to our collection. Our spare bedroom turned into an Aladdin's cave. I loved it. It's special to me, but as I got older I realized that everyone has one of these places. Whether it be the silence and comfort of a library, surrounded by books and corners you can hide in, the chink of cups and the crisp smell of coffee in the hubbub of a coffee shop, or a walk through a park where the leaves curl and flex throughout the year, dogs leaping after balls and children running with their arms flailing behind them. Everyone has their own version of their satay space, the place they go when everything feels a bit too much. And a fabric shop is mine, so here I am. It's fairly near Nate's flat, but I don't care. There is no way he'd come in here, and even if he did, my mind has been replaced with cotton wool. I don't know if I'd even manage to string a sentence together. My heart burns at the thought of him and I scrunch my eyes, turning to the streams of ribbons floating down from a wooden pole. He led to Nate before. I do believe in the universe. Not in the Disney way Nate seemed to, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. when Tanya and Penny told me that they were moving out, and I realized I would also have to move, and I wouldn't be able to afford to live by myself, which meant that I'd have to house share with strangers, I panicked. It felt like my life was being turned upside down without my consent. But that's the thing, isn't it? You never get the chance to agree to your life being turned upside down, otherwise you'd never do anything that scared you. Anyway, when Pam offered me the chance to head the company while she was away, it felt a bit like the universe was offering me a hand. I could take it. I could earn enough money to live in my own flat, maybe even buy somewhere someday. I could stand on my own 2 feet properly. Just like Penny and Tanya, I could have a new adventure. But I know if I did that, then I'd have to let go of my dream of making costumes full-time. I couldn't do both, and if I was running the company, I wouldn't even have the time to take on any commissions. I'd have to let it go, have it as a hobby I could do on a quiet weekend. My eyes turned to the rows of brightly colored wool, all squashed together and squeezed into little cubby holes. I start looking at the saffron yellow, tangerine orange, and azure blue, imagining the loud jumper I could knit, weaving all those colors together. Pam said she didn't want an answer from me straight away and told me to take my time. It took a lot for me not to be the helpful good girl I've always been, and agreed to take the job on just because it was what Pam wanted. And I am nothing if not a teacher's pet. But Pam shooed me out of the office and told me to take the rest of the day off, probably worried I'd blurt an answer without thinking about it. She knows me too well. I haven't told anyone yet. Normally, the first thing I do when I hear good news is call my parents and then run to the shop, grab a bottle of, and race home to tell the girls. But I can't yet. I need to make sense of the hot, scary emotions that are snaking around my body first. I need to line them up and work out why each emotion is there and what it's supposed to be doing. At the moment, it just feels as if they're all coiling around my organs and pulling everything too tight. Can I help with anything? I look round and see Jade. Even though I come in here a lot, we've never pushed past the customer-staff barrier and into friendship, which is a shame. She has a fantastic fashion sense. To be fair, it's not very often I come in here like Elhab today, aimlessly wandering around the shop admiring everything. Normally, I'm a woman on a mission, darting in between appointments or on my way home from work. Yeah, I smile at her. Team just browsing, thank you. She nods, and I'm about to ask her how her day is going when the door crashes open. The bell, which usually tinkles gently when someone enters, jangles manically as a whirlwind of a person falls into the shop and clatters towards the counter. Jade, they gasp in an odd mix of American and Cockney. Need your help. There's a loud thud as the man throws his bag onto the counter. I peer over from behind the rail. He's tall, towering over 6 foot with bleached blonde hair and an oversized bomber jacket. He's the guy who came crashing into the shop last time I was here. It's ripped, he cries, pulling out a garment and showing Jade. It's worse than ripped, it's fucked. I've got a show tomorrow night and I need this dress. I watch Jade examine it, her face pained. I get the impression that she gets this a lot. Tomorrow, she repeats incredulously. Stevie, I can't. I've got to run the shop today. It's just me here and I've got commissions tonight. Please, Stevie begs. Jade, I'll do anything. I can help. The man's head snaps round at me, his eyes wide. I see his eyes flicker as if he's about to ask me who I am, but then desperation takes over. Really, he gabbles. Do you work here? She might as well, Jade says, giving me a wink. She's a fantastic costume maker. I walk towards him and take the fabric from him. It's an emerald green, thick material with a slight give to it. What's it for, I ask. The Wicked Witch of the West, he says. But obviously in green, Elphaba style. For the first time in days, I feel a spark behind my chest. Yeah, I say. I can fix this for you. He almost collapses in relief. Sorry, what's your name? You've fallen angel. I smile. I'm Annie. He throws his arms around me. Thank you, Annie. So it turns out, if your body is filled with angry snakes that are carrying burning emotions that you don't quite know what to do with, just go to your happy place and bathe in it. I left the shop with Stevie's measurements, some extra fabric, and the promise that I'd deliver the dress back to him by noon the next day. Most of all, I left with a fire in my belly. And guess what? It burnt the snakes. They left. I know they'll come back, but while I'm hunched over my sewing machine, there isn't any room for them. There is only happiness here. I glance back over at my notebook and check my sketch. Stevie's costume had a corset and a billowing, flared skirt with panels of different green fabric with a huge slit up one of the sides. The stitching of the skirt had come undone, meaning it wasn't fully attached to the corset. It's a beautiful dress, but it doesn't scream Wicked Witch of the West. It's more like a ball gown or a green wedding dress. I did say this and asked Stevie if he minded if I embellished it slightly, and he said he didn't. To be honest, I think he was so grateful to have me helping him that he would have agreed to anything. I'm adding a cape with a high, jagged collar and a pair of glistening, evil eyes on the back shoulder. So when he turns, it will look as if one of the flying monkeys is hidden behind the cape, ready to leap out and rip someone's throat out at the slightest command. I stretch the fabric under the machine and remove some of the pins holding it in place when I hear my bedroom door open. Oh, what are you making? It's Tanya who climbs onto my bed. She picks up my assortment of pillows and cushions and props them behind her, before curling her long legs under her body like a cat and turning to face me. I furrow my brow as the slippery fabric twists out of place. It's ... which ... costume, I say, in between pinning the fabric back together. I've got to turn it around by tomorrow morning, though. Gosh, Tanya gasps. That's a tight deadline. It's a different type of commission, I explain. It's someone I met in the fabric shop this afternoon. Have you not been at work today? Tanya frowns. I shake my head, skimming the fabric under the machine. Pam gave me the afternoon off. Are you okay? Yeah, fine, I mutter. She wants me to be CEO while she goes traveling for a year. What? My eyes are still firmly glued to the fabric, but I can tell Tanya is gaping at me. Tanya repeats. She offered you CEO? What? I mean, Penny, she yells. Come here. A moment later, I hear Penny stumble through the door, followed by a smell of rich tomato sauce. What? She says. I'm in the middle of dinner. Annie has been offered CEO, Tanya cries, pushing her. Self to sit up straight. What? Penny says. Annie, is that true? The skirt snaps back again, and I throw my head back and groan. God, this fabric is a nightmare. Yeah, I say. Pam wants to take off for a year, and she offered me the job this afternoon. Wow, Penny breathes, perching next to Tanya on the bed. Congratulations, Annie. That's huge. I shrug, suddenly feeling like I might burst into tears. What? Tanya says, leaning forward. What is it? Are you okay? Why is it that you can be doing quite well at holding in all your horrible emotions, then as soon as someone nice asks if you're okay, you suddenly start sobbing like a newborn baby? Does this happen to everyone? Or is it just the emotionally unstable I'm asking for a friend, or, well, I'm not, because what's happening to me right now, Annie? Tanya cries, pulling me into a hug as Penny leaps up and returns with a box of tissues. What is it? I take a tissue gratefully and dab my eyes. Take a deep breath, Penny says sternly. I copy her as she breathes in and out, letting the breath shoot out of my mouth in one short, sharp blow. What's going on? Penny says after a moment. What's making you so upset? Don't you want the job? Tanya asks. Her question brings the snakes back, all angry and fast, wrapping themselves around my body. Yeah, I say. It's a great opportunity, and I love my job. I take a deep breath. It'll even mean that I get to live by myself in a nice flat, and I'll maybe be able to afford to buy somewhere someday. 11 set myself up. Tanya and Penny look at each other. Yeah, Penny says gently. That's true, but what else? Open and close my mouth, unable to get the words that are swimming in my mind in the right order. Penny catches me glance towards my sewing machine and sighs. You're worried you won't be able to carry on with your business, she says. I nod, my eyes welling up again. I guess. I say, my voice thick as I push the tissue to my eyes. I guess I always thought that one day I might do all of this as my proper job, not just as a hobby, and taking on this CEO job just feels like I'm walking away from that. You could still do it, though, Tanya says. You've always done this alongside working full-time and absolutely smashed it. I shake my head. I see how hard Pam works. If I take this on, I won't have any time to do it. I won't be able to turn around commissions like this. I'll have to give it up and, just make the odd costume here and there. I make the mistake of looking at Tanya. Her eyes are wide, with worry, and are shining back at me. Why are you crying? I laugh, poking her with my foot. She laughs and shakes her head. I just want you to be happy, Annie. I exhale slowly. I need to take this job, I say. It's the right thing to do. It's the sensible thing to do. It's just hard, isn't it? The idea of giving up your dreams. You can always come back to it, Penny says gently. It doesn't have to be forever. I shrug and we all sink into silence. I can almost feel Tanya, scrabbling around trying to find a way to fix everything, and Penny trying to think of a way to make me feel better. Shall I make us a tea? Tanya says, giving my hand a squeeze. I nod. Oh, I need to finish making this, though. Penny shakes her head. You come before work, Annie, and right now you need a cup of tea. Dine with me. Tanya gets to her feet, and there's a new series of Come on. Penny stands up, holding her hand out. Work and big life decisions can wait. Dinner can't. I let her pull me to my feet and we both walk into the living room. Tanya brings us tea and Penny serves us her homemade spaghetti bolognese as we curl up on the sofa, which is too small for the three of us, but we make it work. We sit under a blanket and watch Come Dine with me. As I sit there, all I want to do is reach out and fold this moment into a bottle so I can keep it